I'm just an ordinary average guy.
There's a great big beautiful world out there. And here I sit, sucking on popsicles.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Imbasciani Chronicles. Thank you for joining us, and I know, wow, 2 episodes back to back. It's like we have some fun people to interview, and I don't like talking to myself. I do that enough on a daily basis. So when we have some fun guests in town, I love having them out. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to post some short videos, you know, those fancy little shorts and stuff like that. And so we appreciate you all watching out there. Very special guest in the studio today, hilarious comedian and a good friend, Mr. Greg Morton.
Thank you.
How are you, sir?
And we're both wearing blue, which
I know.
means we must have called each other or something.
Exactly. It worked out quite well.
Yeah.
How are you, my friend?
Good, man. I love your studio. It's
Thank
excellent.
you. I really appreciate it.
Everything here. Love it.
Excellent.
I'm going to move in.
Perfect. Hey, that's a pull-out couch. So, obviously, you were semifinalist on America's Got Talent. That's got to be, I'm sure, every interview you do, everybody's got to bring it up. But I understand part of what you've gone through with that. I did not make it to the TV section, but I was in a room for 10 hours talking to these producers, and it was a pain in the ass.
That's good.
Yes,
That's good.
So, but first,
now, I'm just curious.
yeah.
How did they query you?
Well,
They wanted to know your story?
Yeah, of course, you got to have the sad story.
Sure.
I didn't have the club foot, so they didn't call me. But
Nice reference.
Yeah, thanks. I got something either in the mail or in an email that said, "Hey, we want you to audition. You can skip the regular line. Yeah, you can skip the regular line. Come to Tampa, and you're guaranteed an audition in front of somebody."
Yeah.
I said, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So I get there, and 1,000 other people also got the skip the line.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But for that show, that's really narrowed
Yes,
down.
it really is.
Yeah.
Because just the amount of people in this humongous place.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting to me because I had never experienced anything like that. Because you watch it on TV, and people see the TV, but don't understand what happens behind it.
That's right, and
what goes into it well before an episode airs.
Yeah.
And it was funny because they divvied you up. First guy you met would say, "Well, what do you do? Are you a singer? Do you play an instrument? Are you a comedian? Are you the midget dancing on the ball, with the other dance troupe?"
They're that blunt about it, yeah.
Well, because they want to literally separate you.
Yeah.
And in this gigantic convention center, in all these different rooms, they had them all very small rooms.
That's right. And once you're in that nook, you can't move. You can't leave that.
Right. You sit there and you wait.
Yeah.
And it was a 10-hour day, and the first room I remember, we were sitting outside of the first room in the hallway watching all the other, acts, quote unquote, walk by, and they would take 6 people in at a time to see the producer, and they either liked one, maybe a couple, or none of them, and you could be sent home right there and then. I got called in, and basically you stand in a line. And the very nice lady producer sitting there and said, "Okay, play something. 30 seconds. That was it. And then, "Okay, thank you very much. Everybody go back outside for a second." I was the only one of my group of 6 that got called back in.
Nice.
Which was nice. And then the lady there said, "Okay, play something else. 30 seconds. Okay, play something else." And she got, "Okay, take this piece of paper, show it to the guy outside. He'll take you to the next room."
Wow.
So go to the next room. And you're signing more things.
Yeah.
And my parents, of course, were with me. And my mom says, as they were reading everything that subsequently you had to sign, the print was getting smaller and longer, more pages.
Yeah.
And second room was the same thing, kind of. And then the third room, I made it as far as I could that day. And they told me that. And the third room was a screen test because there was a camera in the room, 3 producers and the original lady from the first room. And they said, "Play a song," and I played it for longer. And they said, "Thank you very much. You've made it as far as you can for the day. If we want you for further stuff, you'll hear from us."
That means it's not over.
Right.
They could come back to you. No?
Really?
I think so.
Yeah, they never did, but
Yeah,
that
but
was years ago.
You see, they're always looking for people. And,
Right. I'm in the file now. I'm in the file
You're in
cabinet.
the file, and you could
Yeah.
resurface. Oh, and then they could look you up and see you again and go like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Oh, we have his information.
Yeah. But they might need you for something, a
Right.
slot that they need to fill.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah.
Right. And it was funny because as you're walking through the convention center, they were filming B-roll in the big room, like everybody scream, ah! You know, the crowd outside, the big long lines, like look at all these people here to audition. You know, so that was funny. But
Basically, they're extras and they don't even know it.
right, they're just happy to be there. But I mean, you made it semifinalist. It's awesome, and you just did the show at the Luxor for a while.
Yeah.
What was for you now? What was that looking back? Because that was 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
How was
Doesn't
that?
feel
for you?
like that long ago. Feels like
doesn't.
yesterday.
Yeah. Well, COVID helped with that.
Yeah, that's true. Deception of perception, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. What was it like for me?
Yeah.
Well, it felt like I was ready.
Yeah.
You know how they go, like people say, like, well, put a lot of work into it. You don't know when it's going to happen. I just felt like I was ready. I didn't have any real nerves about it. Maybe a little bit, but
Right.
some people were falling apart. I remember this one lady. She had a really cool thing. She was a what do you call those people at the gate? Oh, she was a gate attendant. Was that what you call them?
Yeah. Okay. I think so.
Gate person.
attendant.
Well, she would like make the announcements, like, okay, flight number 722.
Oh, right. Yeah. One
yeah.
of those people.
And what she would do is she would sing sometimes over the microphone. It was really cool, though.
That's cool. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so she was there with her whole family. She had like a whole entourage. And she really nice person.
Yeah.
So I was talking to her, and I wasn't, it was great because any distraction keeps the nerves away, right?
Right.
Then we get backstage, and it's getting ready to happen, and she's looking out, peeking between the curtains. She's like, oh, my God, look at all those people out there. Oh, what am I going to do? I'm trying to talk her off the ledge.
Yeah.
She's ready to jump.
Go
I'm going
postal.
like, no,
Yeah.
it's going to be fine. You're going to
Yeah.
be okay. But she had a meltdown. She didn't make it. She did not make it.
That's too bad.
I know, man.
Well, and that's the thing is like so many people, like you're a professional. You've been a professional for a long time. And so something like that, when it does come around, it's just another gig.
Exactly.
It is just another gig because, hey, it's what you do. Yeah. But you get these people who are either in the basement, doing it to a webcam, where it's not immediate. Mm-hmm. And it's fight or flight.
That's why it's got to be practice, practice, practice. This is what drives me nuts. On Facebook, I played one of my clips where I'm doing all these different voices. I think for the sour. Hey, Fred. Like, wow, Scooby. And somebody wrote in the comments, oh, just another, practiced little skit. And I go like, well, everything is practiced.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want it to be good, it's got to be practiced.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Where did the people come up with this thing where you can just pull it out of your ass?
I know. TikTok.
Okay.
But yeah, exactly. And again, it's because people don't understand what goes into it. And when they watch shows like that, they just feel like, oh, it's just another thing. Big deal.
Oh, it is not that simple at all.
No.
Just being in front of that many people, but the energy in the room.
Oh yeah. What was that? What was that first audition like?
Oh, I can't see how you could possibly bomb.
Yeah. Right.
Because it was so good. First of all,
the crowd
theater
wants you to succeed.
Well, that's right. And it was in Pasadena. The ceilings were low. So when the sound would hit from the audience, and it would come up and hit you.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
Awesome.
So good. Now, I think, I stepped on my thing there. I think the judges kind of play up their reactions, like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah, of course.
So then you've got somewhere to go to take it emotionally. It's a show. It's a show. I don't think most people think they're out there, it's a real contest. It's a show filled with entertainment. It's like the old Ed Sullivan show where you have, it's a variety show.
Yes.
And that was my thing
You
growing
have the
up as a
crazy
kid.
people, you have
Oh,
the really
sure.
good people, and then you have the
Yes.
filler.
You got to have a little circus.
Of course. Well, that's why I stopped. I stopped watching American Idol a long time ago because I understood what went into the production of a show like that and all the layers, even before I did the America's Got Talent
Yes.
thing. And I remember on American Idol, they had this poor girl that was obviously a mental case, possible schizophrenic mental case.
Ouch.
And she was on TV in front of these judges, freaking out, almost going postal,
Wow.
And you go, why are they doing this? For that shock value? Is it really that's all they want?
Well, I
And
mean, if
it
you
was
don't,
a shame to
you
see
see
that.
what you're competing with, the internet.
Well, right.
So,
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I mean, even Instagram Reels, you scroll through, you see a lot of crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to tell you, there's an addiction level there. I mean, I'm still like, ooh.
Next.
Scroll.
My neighbor mentioned that. He's like, man, my algorithm is messed up. It's like,
Right?
no, you're messed up.
Yeah, they record all of that stuff, right?
Oh,
All
yeah.
the data from that. So
Yep.
I'm on this kick now, watching, arrest videos.
Oh, yeah. I get those on Facebook.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't help myself.
I know. Yeah. It's like, we shouldn't have
And
said
people
that.
come out with their right, their, like, oh, I know the Constitution, and
Yeah.
because a lot of people do not know the Constitution.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You could get a pocket one from Hillsdale College.
Yeah, you need to know that to protect
important.
yourself, and even then, just go along.
Oh, yeah.
You fight it later in court. Don't fight it there. Fight it later.
Exactly.
Because with all the body cam,
Oh, yeah.
it's right there on camera. So, what?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking, or what?
Oh, that's what I'm.
I saw something roll through your head.
I know. I'm thinking it's like just before they come up, click off.
No, I've seen that too, though.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah,
Exactly.
no, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
So how long have you been doing comedy now?
I'm ready for my close up, Mr. DeMille. No,
Yeah.
Sorry. 30. Has it been that long? Holy cow. I think it's almost 40 years.
Wow,
37, I think.
that's awesome. It's hard. I mean, it's hard for me to believe I've been playing guitar for 22 years. Time is
No, I think it'll be 38 this year.
38. And when did you first start to know you had something?
That's a difficult question. You mean comedy-wise?
Comedy-wise, or like the gigs were coming more, or you were doing really well if you started with the open mics, like
Well,
most comedians do.
I used to be a mobile disc jockey, right?
Right.
And so I would perform. I had a kind of a performance back then. And what I would do is I'd dress up in different costumes and play music.
That's cool.
So if I'm playing Ghostbusters, I put on my Ghostbusters outfit.
Right.
Or I had a Superman outfit. I had a chicken suit for the chicken dance.
Nice.
And just to get people up. Because,
Yeah.
I grew up in a farming community and people were kind of shy about getting up. So if I act the complete fool.
If you could get it going, then
Exactly.
everybody-
I
all
was
it
like
takes is
Mr.
one.
Life of the party,
Right.
running around with a little lampshade on my head and a little tennis racket and pretending I'm playing air guitar.
And that turns into this right here, right?
Let's see.
That one. Life of the party.
Exactly. So, then when I started getting into stand-up, I go like, well, you know what? I got these gigs on the weekend. I'll use this
Right.
to give myself some stage time. So 5 minutes grew into 10. 10 grew into 15.
Nice.
Then I ended up I had like 20 minutes till finally someone yelling out, when are you going to play some music?
Right. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's what I'm here for. That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly. And then I knew I need to make the transition.
Right. Nice.
Because I was always afraid of losing that income because, you take a real hit there.
Oh, yeah.
You
have
don't
to-
make a lot of money when you
have to
first
jump.
start out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that first initial jump.
But I did it. My wife was very supportive. She came with me on a lot of gigs. And then, it finally really started to happen. It was great.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and I failed hard, and I had some really good wins, but
Yeah.
I loved it so much. I was just so completely blind, just tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Just,
Right.
And people would say things like, "Well, you're not that." Well, am I supposed to be? I mean, this is the time to suck. At the beginning,
Right.
Suck, 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 suck.
Yeah. And then you move forward.
And exactly.
Yeah.
And then
you
eventually
learn.
you
learn
get
from
better.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You learn a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What was one of the weirdest gigs?
Oh, there's so many weird gigs that I've had. I can tell you one. Okay, so I'm in this bar. This is in Canada. It's in Taber, Alberta. And it's a farm community, corn, famous for their corn. Anyway, little bar. And everybody, they have a comedy show every Wednesday night. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody. So the manager meets me at the beginning. He says to me, "All right, I'm going to give you this cordless mic. Do you know how much these cost?" I said, "Yeah, they're about $1,000. He says, "That's right. This is a loaner. It's not even mine, but the comedian who was here last week broke my microphone. So don't break the
this one."
microphone." Exactly, right? I go, yeah, cool. I know how to handle a microphone.
Oh, yeah.
I go up on stage. Nobody's listening. Like nobody. But I look around. That's when I go to the crowd work. I start looking around for somebody. I see this guy. He looks like the lead singer from the Spin Doctors. So I start hammering on this guy.
Yeah.
And people start laughing. I'm going like, "Oh, I'm getting laughs. I'll just keep going."
Yeah.
He's getting a little upset. Oh, good. I'll keep going, right? He walks up to me and he wraps his hand around the microphone. And he snaps the top off like it's a carrot. You can hear it go crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I look down and it's just the top is hanging there by 2 wires. And I lift up the microphone and I go in my best Bugs Bunny voice. "Oh, Mr. Manager." The next thing I know, he says, "If you don't go back to your little skit, I'm going to take that microphone and stick it where the sun don't shine."
Yeah.
He grabs me, pulls me by my shirt. I hear this big rip. I go, "Oh, well, I guess we're fighting." And I don't know how to fight, right? And I'm just doing the windmill. That's all I'm doing. My arms are going like this. Hey, danger, danger, Will Robinson. And the next thing I know, 2 of the biggest guys, bouncers, jump on me. Of course they jump on the black guy. But they jump on me and they go, settle down, settle down. I go, okay, I'm fine. I'm just defending myself.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I look over, there's 5 or 6 guys on him, and they're all over. They're just dancing all over the dance floor, man. They're not even, they can barely contain him. They call the police, they get him, they arrest him, they take him out of there. And I still got to do my show.
Right.
So,
Sorry for the intermission.
Right?
Yeah.
So I go back up, and the only microphone in the place that's available is the gooseneck microphone on the DJ booth.
Oh, that's fun.
And the only time they would laugh is when I talk about almost getting my ass kicked.
Right. Perfect.
I put in the rest of my 25 minutes that I had left, and I get the hell out of there. And that was one of the weirdest gigs I've ever been in.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, right. Good. The good comes with
I'm
the
alive.
bad
I'm
the
here,
fun.
and
And those are the stories you remember.
Well, yeah. Then there was another guy. He saw me on this. It was just like an afternoon chat show, and we were just joking around, the host and I, this woman, and I don't know what I said. I don't even remember. And this guy was very upset about it and called the comedy club and asked if I was there, and said that I shouldn't be allowed to talk to a white woman like that.
Oh, wow. Is this in Alabama?
No, it wasn't. Believe it or not, it was in Saskatoon.
Wow.
And I will not be running back there.
No.
Which is a nice little Guess Who reference.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going like, what the heck? But you know what? I didn't even know it at the time.
Wow.
This is the weird thing. So the manager picked up the phone She went, yes, yes, no, no, yes. Click. I go like, who was that? She says, oh, no, nobody. The next thing I know, this guy shows up at the door and he buys a ticket. Both of us, we didn't even know.
At least you got the money.
Fortunately, she called the police.
Oh, yeah.
He stayed there. And now this club was in the basement of a... I thought some Chicago was going to break out.
Right now.
Color my world. So what happened? Oh, the club was in the basement.
Yes.
Just a little dining. What do you call those things? Banquet room in the
okay.
basement.
That's
and
pretty
all
cool.
of the rooms were at the top, and they went up and up and up. So I was on the 3rd floor, staying in a room. He was on the 5th floor, looking for me in between shows with a knife.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, they caught him with a knife.
Wow.
Then, so for my second show, I had a police escort. The
You
room
felt like
was
Elvis.
flanked. Yeah. Can you believe that?
That's insane.
It is insane, isn't
Yeah.
it? And I was not doing anything racial or anything. I mean, early on in my career, I started out doing, racial things because I thought that's what you did.
Right.
I was watching like Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy. I thought that's what you did.
Yeah.
And then I figured it out. And I go like, well, you don't have to do that if that's not your upbringing. I
Right.
understand why Eddie Murphy did it. I mean, his idol was Richard Pryor.
Right.
And me too. I mean, the first movie I saw, big comedy movie, was Richard Pryor live in concert.
Oh, cool. Nice.
It was so funny. I mean, we were laughing. We were rolling on the
Right.
sticky floor. It was, I've never seen anything that funny in my life.
funny. See, it took me a long time to realize, like, growing up, understanding who Eddie Murphy was. Because you watch, as a kid, you see Shrek. And then years later, it's like, oh, he did stand-up. Let's watch some of his stand-up.
Bring the
Delirious
kids in.
and
Yeah,
raw, and you're like, this is not Shrek. But it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I mentioned I had Greg Hahn, and I was talking to him about, I loved the idea of how Eddie Murphy had a band play before he did his thing.
Yeah.
And that was a thing where I love comedians, and I'm happy to call a lot of you guys my friends, because as a musician, it's something I can look at and say, that is so cool. It's like we're the same, but it's completely different.
Right.
We're both on a stage where we get each other, but it's still so completely different. And that's fun to see that.
Well, and I think we really have a real appreciation for music as comedians because it's so closely connected.
Yeah.
I think comedy has there are a lot of similarities there too.
Definitely.
Especially things like rhythm. I remember one guy that I really loved, comedian who was part of the Texas Outlaws. His name was Ron Schock, incredible storyteller.
Yeah.
And I said, man, your show is like music. I can hear the rhythm. And he goes like, well, I
It's all
he's got
about
that
timing.
Texas, that drawl,
Right.
Yeah. He says, that's funny you should say that because when I go on stage, sometimes I'll go on stage with a band. And he would have the band would be jamming in the background as he's telling his stories.
That's cool.
Wouldn't that be a cool show to watch?
Jim Brewer does stuff similar to that as well,
Yeah.
especially when he used to do all his
Oh my
AC/DC
God.
stuff. It's hilarious.
Jim Brewer.
He's
what?
great.
And you know what? I met Jim Brewer. I shared a green room
Oh,
with
yeah?
Jim Brewer.
Wow.
It was barely enough room for the 12 of us.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy had so many personalities. He was going and flipping back between characters and switching.
Well, it's
I would
amazing
say
how fast
one
you
word
do
and
that,
he'd go
too.
off and onto a tangent. And he was amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, and how long did it take you to develop all the different characters? I mean, you have so many.
Well, I think because they were so unorthodox, it took me a while because there was so much pushback, especially from my fellow comedians. Oh, what are you doing that for? That's not stand-up comedy. But I always went into it wanting to do something different.
Yeah,
Because everybody sounded the same. I
Right.
go like, why would you want to sound the same? But I never pushed that on anybody else.
Right.
You do what you do, and I'll
Yeah.
do what I do. Now, of course, it did bother me, but eventually I got to a point in my life where I go like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
If you don't like it,
Yes. I find that you also are able to show more of your personality because you're a nerd. It's fun. You like video games, you like movies.
Right.
So when you do the and the Saturday morning cartoons, so when
Right.
you have those bits of your big montage of the greatest movies of all time or your James Brown gag, I love that. I will say though, the younger people don't know who James Brown is. There was I went to the show
How
last
can
night.
that be?
I was sad.
I
The
know.
COVID cough girl from last night.
She didn't know?
She was with a friend and the friend goes, "I don't. Why is he screaming?"
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. And we're not that far out from James Brown
No.
and his
And I
passing,
mean, you want to talk about a showman? Jeez.
right?
Yeah.
I've seen James Brown live twice,
Really.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
and amazing.
yeah.
And he just on it like a machine. A machine. He just kept going and going. He was relentless.
Yeah.
The energy. It's funny when coming up, I used to research everything. I listened to everybody. Well, you had no choice. You were a
Right.
kid. You
Yeah.
listened to your parents' music.
Yeah.
My parents were into rock and roll. They loved, Chubby Checker. They had, who else did they have? Oh, they had, and then they had country. They had we had a lot of
That's
country
cool.
at our house.
And where did you grow up?
Woodstock, Ontario.
Oh, Woodstock,
just
Ontario.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Small town, 28,000 people. Well, probably 30, 34 now.
Okay.
Probably about 26 when I was a kid, or maybe less.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, not much to do.
No, no. But, that's where I developed all my everything, my
Yeah, the
imagination.
imagination
When
with
I
the-
would
with the
play,
voices.
that's what I would do. I would sit in a corner because I was an artist. I would draw. And I would draw cartoons, and then I would make up voices for the cartoons. I'd
That's
make up
cool.
my own entertainment.
Right. That's awesome.
Even my little action figures, I'd
Yeah.
make up voices for them and stuff. And I'd sit in my room and play for hours. Hours.
Well, and I feel like that's part of the problem with today's generation. All they do is on the ticky-tacky, and they have no damn imagination.
Well, because they're not allowed to play.
Yeah.
The parents are so protective. They're so worried that something's going to happen to them
Yeah.
that they don't even go outside, barely. Well, how do you let your kid go outside? No, seriously.
Yeah.
With all people just walk into your backyard and abduct your kid.
Oh yeah.
It's a
horrible,
crazy
horrible.
time. I mean, I would be nervous, and my wife would be worse than me. My wife would be like, "Oh my gosh!"
In
if we
Toronto,
had
you walk
kids-
down the street, you get stabbed.
No joke. My
I know.
friend. No joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's, but a big problem right now is that we've had a mental health crisis.
Yeah.
And it was called the pandemic. And that's what we're seeing. Everybody's having a breakdown.
Yeah. When everybody's forced to stay inside and not do anything,
Yeah.
and then when you
That's why they have prisons.
exactly. Exactly. Well, even my friend, he mentioned his mom's a teacher and teaches in an elementary school, and even after COVID and the kids were back in school, this poor little kid. People don't understand the mental health of a little kid.
Yeah.
Because they can't really verbalize
No.
what they're thinking.
They're like, dogs. They think everything is forever.
Right.
A dog
Yeah.
goes, when you leave, "Oh, you're never coming back." Yes,
Right.
I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Well, what if you don't?
And the cat goes, good.
Exactly.
I'm in charge
This
now.
place is mine.
Yes.
This is your couch? I'm going to mess it up.
Yeah. Exactly. So this poor little kid is in elementary school, and he's decked out. He's got the goggles, the mask, and the shield, and the gloves, and he's carrying his lunch from home, you know, wrapped in cellophane. And
That sounds like the first moon landing.
exactly. and just to show you the mental health of what these kids will go through when they're fed just scare tactics and fear porn is the best way to put it.
I agree with you.
Is he was walking down the hall, and he tripped and he fell, and his food went all over the floor. And a bunch of kids ran over to help him pick up his food. And this poor kid starts flipping out, not because his food touched the floor, but because the other kids were touching it, helping him.
Yeah.
If that's an elementary school kid, he's going to go postal in high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's not healthy.
Well, he's been through a traumatic experience.
Right. And not taught how to deal with it.
That's a therapy session. That's several therapy
Several.
sessions. So
That's employing a therapist for a long time.
and I don't think we're equipped to handle something like that.
No.
You know, as parents or
Yeah. Right, because when you have to deal with it at the same time, it's like,
Right.
how do you function with it, let alone
exactly.
show what a little kid what to do?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's
and you
hard.
can't force them. They come along when they're ready. But
Right.
that progression, I mean, and it's just a lot of talking. How do you feel? Whatever. Keep expressing.
Right.
So you see where the thermometer is.
Yeah,
you know? Oh my God. Oh no.
Yeah.
We're at the breaking point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know how you handle something like this.
Yeah. And how do you...
I just wish that the government would acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Someone in leadership would come out and go like, you know what? Listen, we've all been going through this. Let's acknowledge maybe we're having some health problems.
Right.
And don't be ashamed of that.
Yeah.
Just reach out.
Right.
And talk to somebody
Go
about it.
outside, get some sun.
But except in my case. But no, go out, get something.
Yeah.
Go out.
Well, with COVID, that's what happened because they
Yes.
wouldn't tell people how do you fight a disease? Vitamin D. They were telling people take a vitamin D supplement.
I know.
And stay inside.
I know. Oh my gosh.
It's like
Yeah.
literally just go outside, breathe in fresh air.
And that's where we are right now.
Yeah.
Wow. I think though it is swinging to the other in a different direction. I think more and more people are getting into holistic
Yes,
methods and that.
definitely.
But the problem is that the drug companies are trying to shut all that down.
Oh,
They don't want that. They want you to take the drugs. And the doctors, well, the drug companies don't make any money off you picking a couple of herbs out of your backyard
Right,
and
yeah.
smoking it. You know,
Where was it? Was it in Canada? Or I know they even did it here. But
What's that?
remember in the Home Depots, they were the seeds. They were telling people they couldn't buy seeds to grow in their
Yeah.
garden.
Yeah, I don't know where that was, but I do remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's
Well,
just nuts.
That's the other thing, too. How do you own a seed?
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
God made that. You didn't. Will you put a patent on that? A seed?
Yeah.
You got to be kidding.
I know.
What's next? My seed? You're going to put a patent on that? I own that. I own that. That's crazy town.
Have you thought about vasectomies?
Yes, I have, actually.
It's mine. It's staying in.
Oh, anyway. But I'm glad I made that decision not to have kids.
Yeah,
Well, I'm on the road all the time.
that's true.
I'm on the road about
could have
42
little
weeks a
roadies.
year. Little roadies.
I had you so that you could pick stuff up and follow me on the road. Now pick it up.
These suitcases are heavy, Dad.
Shut up. Get in the car.
No, but I would love to have kids. Well, I'm a big kid myself.
Right.
And one is enough. And this way, nobody touches my PlayStation.
Exactly. So yeah, let's talk about that. Let's segue to something happier. Entertainment. When did you talking about growing up in a small town like that? Were you always into movies and like the classics like that, Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would go to see 5 movies a week.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd go all matinees, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
that's awesome.
Yep.
What was you're a Star Wars fan?
Yeah.
When and how old are you? Did you see the original in theaters or
I
like
think I was
later?
77, right?
Yeah, 77.
19?
Okay. So do you remember seeing that
Oh, yeah.
in theaters
Many
for the first
times.
times?
And then I was so blown away. I went to see it with my dad. I said, Dad, you got to see this. So the whole family went, except for my mom. She was not into that. I don't like Star Trek.
And that's when you say,
How dare you?
So we saw it together. My dad loved it.
really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Instant, and so that became our thing.
Nice.
We'd go and see what the next Star Wars.
Yeah.
Man, that was so cool.
Awesome.
I know, right? And unfortunately, or fortunately for him, he didn't get to see the prequels.
Oh,
So, no, I'm kidding. I'm teasing,
Yeah.
of course. But
that's what I grew up. I remember seeing Revenge of the Sith in theater for the first time.
Wow.
And just that opening scene and then into the huge battle. Like,
wow,
I was like, I love this.
right?
Yeah.
Well, that's when Star Wars had wars in it.
Right,
Now,
yeah.
I don't know. Now it's all gender politics and
Feminism.
well, just give me a good story. That's
Exactly.
all I care about.
Did you like Rogue One?
I did.
I loved Rogue One.
I did.
It
Too.
reminded me of old like World War II movies, The
Yeah.
Dirty Dozen.
Me too.
And
too.
how seamlessly, because when it first came out, everybody's saying, "Oh, it's perfect. You can watch it." Excuse me, back to back with the original, and it's true.
Yeah.
It literally goes right into the
It
original.
does.
And to me, that was a great spin-off Star Wars movie.
I agree. And then it all went to hell
Oh,
after
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Because what did they do? They claimed that was a flop.
I think their mistake was trying to appeal to everyone. You have to remember that now you have adult fans. You should have an adult Star Wars, maybe something that's rated mature.
Right?
And then you have a kid's
Which you could
Star
see
Wars.
Rogue One as being,
Yeah,
if they really wanted to push the envelope.
exactly.
Because, spoiler alert, they all die.
Yeah.
After that, it's especially with the sequels now, they became too afraid to kill somebody off.
Yeah.
And when they did kill somebody off, it had no meaning.
Exactly. Well, because there's no character development.
Right.
You've got to have that. Otherwise, there's no attachment.
And
to
that's what's been happening in movies. I feel,
Yes.
just in general, Star Wars or other, is that they're not. They worry too much about the agenda of the character rather than the character development as a whole. Why should you care about this person?
it. Well, you've got to remember, too, there are a lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
And the execs are looking at this like going like,
Well, we're hitting the 45-minute mark. Can we have some more action in there? We're going
Right.
to lose people.
Yeah.
you know, no, you need character development. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You need that.
Well, and you were talking about
Yeah, go.
how movies are like 3 hours now.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Silent movies, 15 minutes. And it's true. Like Oppenheimer's, I haven't seen it yet, but it's like, how can you? I mean,
My wife and I bought a copy.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to support,
Oh, yeah.
filmmakers.
Right.
So I bought it. We made it halfway through. Like, we're just.
it's like, I know what happens.
My wife doesn't like films that are kind of shoved down your throat.
Yeah.
Where it's just too obvious, like, here is the message.
Right.
Okay, I get it. I know what the message
Yeah.
is.
Japanese
I'm
didn't like
stupid?
it. We know.
But why are things so message heavy? Why does it have? And then at the Academy Awards, oh, look at us. Look what we did. Shut up. They're all this self-importance. It's just a bunch of navel gazing. I hate that crap.
Yeah.
Right? Look at me. Look at me. Everybody's a narcissist now.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I'm trying to think of like classic cinema. Like you think of like Goodfellas.
Oh,
Like,
my gosh.
That's a long movie.
Love Goodfellas.
I talk about Titanic on 2
Magnum
VHSs.
opus. That is like a-
Goodfellas was 2 DVDs.
Yeah. It is so good.
Yeah, it is, and it's a classic of storytelling. I love Martin
Yes.
Scorsese's
And it has
filmmaking.
beats in it. You notice how
Yes.
everything goes with the music? It is the perfect soundtrack as well.
Well, are you a fan of Quentin Tarantino?
Yes.
I
Huge.
love. I saw an interview with him where he talked about when he has an idea for a movie,
Yeah.
he has this humongous vinyl collection, and he will have the idea for the movie and go through his vinyl collection first before even writing it down.
That's right.
And pick out all the music. For,
And the
for his
music
movies.
helps him write the script.
Yeah, and you could see how it helps write a scene.
Yeah.
Because if you have X amount of time in a song or a certain bracket of a song, then you write it
He
for
is
that.
a master of that.
It's
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. And he's a master of dialogue, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Conversations.
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs.
My
One of
favorite.
my favorite movies.
Me too.
Yeah. We were talking about it on the radio with
Were we?
Lovejoy? I think so.
I don't know.
That whole opening scene. It's like 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We were
just-
talking
yeah,
about that.
Of
Yeah,
just
that's right.
normal conversation. That's right, because we were talking about Madonna, right?
Like a virgin. Yeah. That's dick, 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 dick. That's my favorite. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. What is it? I got Jimmy Chong's notebook in my right ear and Madonna's big dick in my left. Great movie. And that's not even the movie. It's just the opening scene to get you to care about the characters. And what's interesting
Yeah.
in Quentin Tarantino's writing is once you see Reservoir Dogs and you actually know about the characters and how it ends, when you look back at that opening scene, things stick out to you about their personalities.
Yes.
and all that. I won't spoil that movie.
I
It's
agree
it's
with
a
you.
Classic.
You know what I
And-
always thought? Tell me if you think this is true. Do you think that would make a good play?
Yeah, because it's one room.
Yeah.
So why not?
Why not, right?
Right? You could have, because you have that diner scene in the beginning, you have the car
Right.
after that. Fun little side note, maybe
Go.
for a car with a play. I played in the pit for Grease down in Fort Myers. I was a fill-in guitar player for a week at the Broadway Palm Dinner Theater. So much fun. And it was cool because we weren't in the pit, we were on the stage, in the back of the stage, because they made it like it was Rydell High's high school reunion, so we start the show and we're the band for the high school reunion,
Yeah.
and so that was fun. And they had, for Grease Lightning, they had a car cut in half on wheels that they could wheel out there with the fancy flames and everything, and they do the car scene and stuff. So you could have something like that for any car scenes in a play. And
That's
for
true.
Reservoir
That's true.
Dogs, you could definitely, I think, because it's
could.
one room and
could.
a couple flashbacks,
Yeah. Yeah.
we should put it
You
together.
wouldn't even have to have. I would love to see that production.
Right?
Wouldn't you?
That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's something Jason Alexander, George from Seinfeld, was talking. He has a podcast. Was it Really No Really podcast or something? And he was talking about he did a play because he's huge into plays, which I didn't know for a long time. But he was a big stage actor, and he said the culture has changed so much that everybody has to have a microphone.
Oh.
And for someone like you have like that perfect radio voice, and I feel like, did you do any stage stuff like when you were younger?
Yeah, in high school.
Yeah,
I remember that's where I actually got hooked.
really.
Yeah, I did like we had a assembly. Remember when you had assemblies when you were a kid?
I was homeschooled, so
Oh, lucky you, brother.
top of my class.
Lucky you. Top of my class. The only one in class.
Exactly.
So I was in a play, and the first time I was just background for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was played a kid in a classroom basically, and one of the other students was the teacher. And the first time I got a laugh, I go, that was it.
Yeah.
That's all
You're
I
like,
wanted to
all
do.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need
We
more.
can't find the vein. Where is it?
And I was like, I need to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but man. And so after that, I was in all the assemblies.
That's
And I
cool.
was doing characters, and I was
Nice.
doing skits.
Drugs are bad.
I was doing impressions back then.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one comedian back then called Charlie Farquharson. And this was Don Herron's character. He was a comedian on, what was it? I can't remember. Well, anyway, these are all Canadian references.
Yeah.
But he did this character, and I could do his voice really well. His laugh, everything. And I wrote material and jokes and
That's cool.
everything.
Yeah.
But people couldn't get past me doing the character
Right.
because I was black. So they shouldn't you call yourself Chocolate Charlie Farquharson or something like that? I go like,
No. Yeah.
Right? I
It's
mean,
like, come on.
right?
Yeah, right.
right? What do you guys had Al Jolson. Let me have a turn. How I love you, how I love you.
Yeah.
Crazy town, but
Yeah.
I didn't care. Back then, I just ignored everything that people said,
Yeah.
and I just did
And
what
you
I
did
wanted.
your own thing.
I did
Yeah,
my thing.
exactly. Right, and you made it your own.
Yeah. Well, it was really cool. My dad had a reel-to-reel tape
Oh, cool.
tape machine,
Yeah.
and I would just practice on that. I would just record myself, and I'd make commercials.
Ha.
I'd make
Nice.
commercials for dances. Like if we had a dance, I'd be the DJ. Yeah, I remember first dance, about 16 years old that I went to, and they didn't have anything danceable except for this Sly and the Family Stone. I go like, this is what I want to do.
Right.
I want to get up there and I want to play the music and I
Yeah.
talk to people and so that's what I ended up doing.
Well, and you did the mobile DJ thing. Did you start in radio first?
No, high school first,
Okay.
and then doing things over the PA
Yeah.
for the
okay.
school.
That's cool.
And little skits and everything.
Yeah.
on the tape recorder.
Yeah.
Just chop mixing with the cassette with the piano keys, And then later some radio.
Yeah.
I almost got into radio, really close.
Yeah.
And my someone who I was going out with at the time, she didn't know what to do, and I said, "Listen, you could go into broadcasting. This would be really good for you." So I took her to sign up at this college, and they heard my voice, and they go like, "What? You should be in radio."
Yeah.
So
you
they
really do. Have
So they gave me
perfect
this,
voice.
the forms to fill out. And halfway through, I'm going, "What the hell am I doing? I've already been through. I spent 3 years in college. Why would I want to go back to college
Yeah.
for radio? Just get into it."
Right.
Yeah. And so then I just left it. And
Well, and that's what I feel. College in general isn't as necessary anymore,
right?
especially with the power of the internet. Everybody has a podcast,
That's right.
and as long as you do it, just do it.
That's where you put your 10,000 hours in.
Yeah. You don't have to be taught, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. Figure it out.
Just get right
And
in
you find exactly. I remember when I was 16, I had a friend who was in college and was studying marketing. And she was talking about all these hypothetical situations. And here I am at 16 going, well, I had that happen to me when I was 14. I dealt with it that way. And I had that happen to me when I was 16. And that happened that. Like all her hypotheticals I had already dealt with in the real world.
Because you had the life experience?
Right, because I was already playing
Right.
professionally and dealing with
Right.
it in the real world and making money for it instead of getting credit.
Yeah, right?
know?
Yeah.
It's like-
It's going away, folks.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because what do you need it for? It definitely doesn't need to go that long.
No.
Like 3 years or whatever people get a degree for. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
That's a make-work program
Oh, yeah.
for people who can't.
Well, the first 2 years are remedial high school.
Right?
Yeah.
With ashtrays.
Yeah. Yes. So what do you see comedy as now as opposed to when
I
you
don't
started?
know.
How do you feel where it is?
I just hear too many people that sound the same.
Yeah.
I don't hear individual voices, enough individual voices. And the art of performance is being lost.
Yeah.
And I tell people, I give them tips about how to perform and how to connect with your own material.
Yeah.
Like people sound so rote when they get up there.
Yeah, don't write just to write and then not connect with it.
No, believe me, I admire that skill, the writing. That's the hardest part, in my opinion.
I can imagine, yeah.
But you need to feel what you wrote. You need to go through the emotion of what you're talking about at that moment and play it in the moment.
Yeah.
So that way it's original.
That's your
fresh.
personal, fresh story, yeah.
Yes, and that's your voice coming out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be faux anger and you start yelling and screaming at the top of your lungs. I mean, obviously it's a performance,
Oh, yeah.
but you still have to make it authentic. I don't know. I think it's because a lot of people don't have a theatrical background, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and again, one of the reasons I think musicians and comedians are different, in my opinion, where it is based on what I do, is like you came to my Clapton show. Tuesday.
Yes. I freaking love that.
Thank you, man. I really
Beautiful
appreciate it.
show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That I talk a lot,
Yeah.
but I talk. And I love history. Being homeschooled, I was able to really focus in on things that I enjoyed, and history was one of those things, especially World War II history. My grandfather fought in Okinawa. And so I tailored that show, because you see some tribute artists that come out and go, well, I am, such. I am that person. It's like, no, you're not. And so I went about it as, let me take them on the historical
on a journey.
And that's what I like doing with that. And so I talk a lot for that show. But every other, my regular blues shows, I'm not talking. And if you're in a club, it's more noisy anyway. And so I'm just, song. And I feel like that's the hardest thing, is being able to talk to those people.
Well, when I noticed this, I would look around the room at the people, and you could see they're going through their memories.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one guy. You said, "Oh, well, back in '63, this song came out, and I wasn't even born." You make a little joke,
Right,
you know?
yeah.
And I thought that was funny. And this guy goes, "I was."
Yeah, right.
And all the memories you can see are flooding through, and you're like,
Exactly.
"Yeah, that was a great time." And
Yeah.
when you make those memory connections, oh, come on.
Right. And with what you're doing too, when you talk about all the movies or anything like that, the songs,
Or childhood.
or the childhood,
Yeah.
people want to reconnect, and it's our job as entertainers, like you said, turn off the news, just live in the moment and remember happy thoughts,
Yes.
and that's our job, is to give those people those
Or
happy
make
thoughts.
your new happy thoughts.
Yeah.
You don't have to concern yourself with all that stuff. Believe me, all this has happened before. It's going to happen again.
Yeah.
It's a cycle. I don't think we're going to change
No.
at this point.
At this point.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
but I think
Have you
can
seen
make your-
Oppenheimer?
Well, one thing I do know, I don't know for sure, but I think that it's going to be completely different this time.
Yeah.
If we have a World War III,
Yeah.
they don't have to drop a bomb,
No.
and that's what people need to be prepared for.
Right.
Like, can you imagine they shut off everyone's internet, and people would just lose it,
Oh yeah.
or you can't buy you can't go anywhere, and you can't buy anything. You can't take money out of the bank because everything is hooked up to a computer, which is hooked up to a satellite.
Well, and the funniest thing was, because we got hit with Hurricane Ian here, and that was, at that time, there was more and more talk about CBDC, central bank digital currency. When a hurricane hits, what goes down? All the computers.
Right.
So what are people using? Cash.
Yeah.
And people don't know how to function.
No.
People don't know how to function.
I've seen it go down a couple of times in Toronto.
Yeah, snowstorms.
Yeah. Not even sometimes. Sometimes it's just a glitch.
Oh, yeah.
Or hacking.
Yeah.
And they don't even tell you when it's hacking.
No.
They don't want you to know.
You heard AT&T went down,
Yeah.
and all these other, Verizon was down, all these, AT&T got hit the hardest, but everybody's talking about, oh, it's just a glitch in the system.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Remember MGM?
Yes.
It took
yes.
them a week to come out and
Yeah.
admit that they were hacked.
Yeah.
And I remember I was there. I was at the MGM.
Were you really? Yeah.
And I was going like, this is weird. Like we had sold out shows the whole week. We get till Sunday, it wasn't sold out. I go, this doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. People couldn't get online and buy tickets.
Buy the tickets, and they don't know how to function.
Yeah.
And is there even a ticket window? People can buy tickets?
Oh yeah, there is. But how do you enter in all of those reservations?
Right.
They've all got to be done
Yeah.
through the computer.
With a pen. Oh, yeah.
But that was scary. And I remember, and then the very next week, I was in the Luxor, which was at another It's another MGM property,
Mm-hmm.
and the machines were down.
Wow.
And this guy's walking by. He goes, "That's my machine. I love that machine. I wish I could play it, but I can't." It was offline.
Millions of dollars lost.
Right?
You know it. Because if they can't control can't control it, they're not going to let people gamble
That's right.
or do anything.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas for the first time last August.
Really?
Yeah, that was fun.
I think you just missed me, I'll
I
bet.
think I did. I think I had just missed you.
Because I was there around that time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How was the experience at the Luxor with AGT?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like
and
being
see, like
like
you
a
said, you
family
get
homecoming,
you get the
you
call
know.
back. Yeah.
Well, first of all, Cody Lee is one of the he's one of the stars on the show, and he won season 14, the season that I was on, and the season I remember him so well.
Cool.
When I met him, I don't know his energy.
Yeah.
I'm going like, I don't know. I could feel that guy's energy. I go like, I don't know what he's doing, but I got to see this guy.
That's cool.
And I said, what happened to this guy? And then I did an impression I did in his voice. I go, heck yeah, And they go, wow, that's a good impression of Cody. He said, yeah, he made it through. He made it through. So I got to see him, and whoa. So now he's like the highlight of the show, but it's just
cool.
so much fun.
Awesome.
That being a big part of a big production like that.
Right. Oh, I can't imagine.
Huge.
Yeah.
So fun. Scary and fun at the same time.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Performing didn't scare me at all. but
Right. It's everything around it. It's like once
Hosting,
you're allowed to just
yeah.
do your thing, it's like it's
Yeah,
bread and butter.
because you know what your thing is.
Right.
I will say the room is different.
Yeah.
It has really high ceilings, so you can't really hear, the response as well. And it just
It takes a while to
It's
come.
very cavernous.
Yeah.
Now, another place I've opened, I opened for Luther Vandross at Radio City Music Hall.
That's cool.
That place is so damn big.
Really.
I mean, it takes a minute just for the response to get up to the front of the stage.
Yeah. Well, and I know what you talk about when you say it's like intoxicating when you get that laugh. Because I did the Clapton show at a place up just south of Tampa. That it was the biggest show at the time because I've played to thousands of people at an outdoor festival.
Yes.
And the sound just goes.
Yeah.
It's nothing's coming back
Nope.
as much. Applause will come back, but if it goes, it's gone.
Yep.
I played an 830-seat theater just south of Tampa, and a sold-out show for the Clapton show.
That's good.
It was fun. And I told one of the jokes, and I could hear the laugh go up as it hit the audience. And I was like, I get it now. It's like, I see why they do that.
And you have to wait,
Right.
or you'll step on your own laugh.
Yeah, and then people won't hear you.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's timing.
And I
is a
always
thing.
tell that I like to performers that haven't played on a large stage that your movements have to be bigger.
Yeah.
In order to hit the back of this.
So people can see you.
People
yeah.
at the back.
I will
yeah.
say that Jumbotron at the Luxor, I saw the picture of that, and that was pretty nice.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You can do anything with that.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It's so cool. The graphics that they make up.
Right. Yeah.
They had this one guy, named Bloom, out of my head. Anyway,
That's a weird
he's
name.
doing and now, boom, out of my head. He's doing acrobatics
Cool.
with fire.
Oh.
So of course they have a wall of flame.
Of course.
And that's not enough. You
No,
gotta have real
you need
flame.
more
Bring
flame.
in the real flame.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my parents and I will watch something like that, and my dad will go, "See, that's what you need. You need flames. If only you had flames, you'd be playing places like that."
I hope we do have more of those video walls though,
Oh yeah.
because you can do anything.
The technology is getting cheaper, so more and more people are doing it. It's fun. You imagine Vasani?
Oh, right.
That would be awesome.
And then I'm doing my Jurassic Park.
Trees
the
behind
jungle
you.
in the back.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That'd be cool.
Faster. Let's go faster.
What's a movie? Well, you just saw the Ghostbusters movie. How was that?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Afterlife, but they're all together. There's a lot of great fan service in the
Good.
movie.
Yeah.
And that's what we want anyway.
Oh yeah. If they're making these remakes, just give us the fan service.
Here's what I love about what they did. They didn't disrespect the legacy characters.
Good.
Disney, for whatever reason, they have this boner for disrespecting
Yeah.
them. You know,
Oh,
he's old. Kill him off.
Right.
He's old too. Kill him off.
Yeah.
And like Indiana Jones, okay, he's a eunuch in this movie? You're gonna
I
cut
know.
his nuts off?
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. Indiana Jones. I always knew you'd never be able to use this again. They just,
Why do you think he was getting divorced?
I mean, it had a really nice, sweet ending. And
It was. I thought that they did
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Star Wars, they did well with Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Well, that's just 'cause he's in.
But Star Wars, I mean, I
an
knew
angry old
Han
man.
Solo was going to die.
Oh, yeah.
But when you killed off Luke Skywalker, and you
Right.
didn't give them any of the moments, you didn't give any of the legacy characters a moment
Yeah.
to get back and come on.
And when Carrie Fisher died
yeah.
before the ending of the filming, they could have killed her off in the other movie.
I
Remember?
know.
And that would have been the perfect way to do it. It would have wrapped it up nicely. But
Yep.
instead, because she ended up dying in real life, unfortunately, they had to cobble something together that was garbage.
Well, they wanted Carrie Fisher's character to be the new mentor, to be
Right.
the new
To Ray, yeah.
to Rey, the new Obi-Wan,
Right.
basically. And I get that.
Yeah.
But guess what? You screwed it up. You took too damn long, number
Yeah.
one. And 3 movies, 3 characters with no roadmap.
Yeah. Oh,
Who,
yeah.
who makes a trilogy like that? Who does that?
Right, with 3 different directors.
Exactly. That doesn't make sense to me.
No.
They
And
did
again,
Lord of
when
the Rings, they
talking
didn't go, well, let's wing it. You know?
Didn't they, I thought they did that with The Hobbit.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, The Hobbit was the problem was that they needed more content.
Right.
There was
'cause,
only enough there for 2 movies.
and they tried to.
Well, the studios are going,
You gotta make it 3, so then it's a box set of 6.
you know, everything is sales to those
Right.
people.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Well, and which one was it? I think it was the second sequel of Star Wars with Finn. They were finally developing his character,
yeah,
and it was the perfect way. There was the new little Asian girl that made no
yeah,
sense. And then he was willing to sacrifice himself
Mm-hmm.
for the good of the Force and blah blah blah. And then they had to mess it up.
yeah,
And
yeah. He
can't
could
kill
have
the
had
black guy.
He could have had an incredible story.
Right. And it would have been something to fight for. And then they
Exactly.
totally
It's called character redemption.
Right.
A redemption arc.
yes.
And they took that away. Now, why would you do that? Now, just to make don't kill yourself. This is brought to you by the Anti-Suicide Society. No, come on,
Not
now.
in Canada.
Yeah,
Remember, folks, everything discussed in this podcast is solely our opinion and should be taken as such.
but I don't know why did they do that?
I know. It's because, like I said, they're too afraid to kill somebody in a movie now.
Well, and here's what else happened to that Finn character. In China, they don't like black characters. They don't like black. I hate to say that. They took Boyega's picture off the poster.
I remember that. Yes.
What?
Well, then Disney should have been happy with killing him off.
No, but seriously, like, I mean, if they're so inclusive,
Yeah.
why would they bow down to China?
Right.
Why would they do that if you're so principled? Wow.
That's what it's been in Hollywood for years
Wow.
because the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, has dumped so much money
Wow.
into Hollywood. They have to abide by.
Yeah. I know.
What
Like
China's
they can dictate what color
what
shirt
China wants.
somebody wears in a movie.
Well, look at what happened. Disney got in trouble with the
Mulan?
Mulan live action movie because they were using the Uyghur slaves over there during the filming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, where's the outrage?
Yeah.
And everybody got upset. What was it? Matt Damon. Wasn't it Matt Damon in The Great Wall?
Oh,
That movie. It's like, you want an Asian actor? Matt Damon. Jason Bourne, ain't it?
Well, that's always been Ben Kingsley and Gandhi.
Yeah.
My friend Ken Savage has a joke about that. He said, "What, 7 billion Indians in the world? You can't find a South Asian actor."
Yeah, right. But yeah, no, they're all the propaganda that they want to use.
Yeah.
Entertainment,
man.
Well, when you look back at the history of the entertainment companies, NBC, CBS, they all came after World War II, and most of the heads of those companies were from what became the military-industrial complex, and were heads of those departments of how they got the word out.
Yes.
And how they
Propaganda machine.
propaganda from the beginning.
Yeah.
And now China just figured out if you pay them enough, they'll use their propaganda.
A lot of power. But I can see that now we are trying to uncouple from the teach.
Yes. Well, because of the power of the internet.
Yeah.
Because anybody's able to do this right here, then it allows people to not have to just take what NBC is saying, what Fox is saying, what CNN is saying.
That's right.
It allows people to do your own homework.
Who'd have thunk it, right? That
Right? Yeah.
all these people would have their own radio station,
Oh, I know. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or their own podcast, their own TV show, basically. That's what this is.
Where's your podcast?
I don't know what I would talk about,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Well, for a while there, you were posting some things because you got some of the new video games that were coming out.
Yeah.
I remember you talk about that. You ever take a PlayStation with you on the road?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to love that. That was my thing, man. It kept me from spending money. No, if I had my game and I'd sit in my room and then go out and do my show. And
Right. Did you hear about the F1 driver that got in trouble because he plays F1 games
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah.
But he was up until 4 a.m. on a race day, and he still won the race. And he's been winning consistently, but he'll just be on Twitch streaming him playing these racing games with all his buddies.
How'd he get in trouble?
Because they were just saying, "Why are you up so late playing a video game on a race day? You know, you should be focusing on sleep and your work and da 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 da." Like,
Because then the track, you have to memorize the track. And I can't think of a better way of memorizing
that's true. I
the
bet you
track.
that's what he's doing too.
For sure. You know where every chicane is, you know, every bump.
Yeah.
You can feel it, the force feedback in your in your controller. I mean, that's how detailed those cars are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean those games are. Yeah, and I was a real Formula One fan back in
Really?
the day. Yeah, I've been to a few races and
Did
everything.
you see it in Vegas?
I just watched it. I mean, I couldn't afford that.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
But I did get to see it. What a great race! It was so much fun.
With the sphere is amazing.
Right?
Yeah. I was we stayed when I was there. I was at the Trump Hotel.
Yeah.
Beautiful hotel.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Is it? I've never been.
No casino, but that's okay. You know, I don't.
Yeah,
care.
yeah.
Yeah, but beautiful, and our view had a view of the sphere, which I'm glad they shut it off at 11 o'clock, because it just would have
It's
been
just too
shut
bright.
right through the.
Yeah.
But go through the phases of the moon and just everything it had. It's unbelievable.
It really is.
Did you hear already? Some guy already climbed to the top of it.
How in the heck did he do that?
No.
Oh gosh! Don't make that a thing, please.
I know, it's insane.
Top of the world, ma.
Yeah. So, but with games, what's your poison? What have you been?
Lately, it's been RPGs. I'm playing this one game called Infinite Wealth, Yakuza Infinite Wealth. I've never been able to get into the Yakuza games, but I've always wanted to. I'm not a big beat 'em up guy.
Right.
But this one, the way they do it, it's more like an RPG. It's turn-based.
That's cool.
And there's so many fun things in the game, mini games. It keeps changing constantly.
Yeah.
And they've got these arcade games. You can go to an actual virtual arcade.
In the game.
Yes, and play old Sega games.
See,
like
I love
Virtua
that.
Fighter.
I love that. That makes it a whole nother depth.
Right?
And yeah.
This is like a forever game.
And replayability.
Yeah, and I am hooked on that like crack.
Nice.
Then next week I got a new one came out, Dragon's Dogma. Did you ever play that?
No,
That's another
that sounds
new
familiar.
RPG. That's coming out. That's going to be really good. I played the first one. It's really a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I played RoboCop. Wow. If you get a chance, play that. It is just like the movie. It's
Cool.
so fun.
Nice.
They nailed it.
Cool. When
You're coming with me.
you want to talk about film lore. When I drove out to Las Vegas, the first stop was Dallas, Texas, and I was on the Chad Prather show on the Blaze Network, Glenn Beck's network.
Yeah. Oh,
And
wow.
they took over the old Paramount Studios there outside of Dallas, and there, right outside the main entrance to the studio building, is an alleyway with this thing painted on it. And that's where they filmed the final scene of the original RoboCop.
No
Like
kidding.
the shootout scene.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, they filmed it right there.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, like I love that. Like
Wow.
stuff like that is so cool.
Now, what do you play?
I don't have much time for that.
Yeah,
And when
yeah.
I got my PlayStation
Guitar Hero?
4.
joking.
I suck at that game. I always sucked at that game. I'd play that at my friend's house, and I'm like, this is not right. This isn't
Red,
how
green,
it
blue,
is.
blue, yellow, red, green, blue.
That's not how it goes. But when I first got my PlayStation 4, I was 17. That was my first console, PlayStation 4. And
Wow, you are lucky to be born in the future.
yeah, right.
Try growing up with an Atari. It's a completely different, yeah. Boop, 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 boop. Go ahead.
And so I loved the story games.
Me too.
So I got,
Yeah, that's my thing.
What was it? Like The Last of Us
Oh,
or
my gosh.
Uncharted. I
Great
loved it because
story.
I love movies, so it felt
Stories.
like you're playing a movie.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know?
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, and then I got the Xbox Series X when that came out, and
Love that.
I gained more gaming friends online. So then I started playing more online stuff, and so right now, but because I don't have much time to play, I don't have the time. One of the big problems with the games, like you said, it's cool that there's the Atari in the game that you can dive into that, but there's so much to do in games now, and such a learning
Yes.
curve.
Yes.
Like I remember one of the last games I played on PlayStation 4 that I didn't even get a quarter of the way through that I still want to play was Witcher 3.
Oh, my gosh.
But
I'm still not through that.
You want to talk about a learning curve.
Right?
And then if you step away from it
Oh,
for
you're
a
done.
month,
You got to start all over again.
you got same thing with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, that's another one.
I've restarted that game twice.
Yeah.
I get through the snow, and then I'm like, I gotta go to bed, and then I don't touch it for a month.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I don't remember
I
what's
didn't
happening.
know what to do.
Right.
I didn't know where to go. I
Yeah.
mean, it's so massive.
Right.
So I just started shooting things. Yeah. Anything that moved.
Exactly.
Wildlife.
Boom.
Yeah.
But- and
I'll make
so-
my own story.
Right. And so these games like say, oh, 200 hours worth of stuff to do. It's like, I don't have 200 hours to do what
Who
I'm
does?
supposed to do.
I guess I'm collecting them for my retirement, so I'll have
Exactly.
something to play.
So right now I play Fortnite with my neighbor,
Yeah.
and have fun.
Well, because you can pick up and play. You can,
Exactly.
Yeah, get in, get off, get out.
Right.
Just like sex. But yeah, I think me too. I love the story games.
Yeah.
Not big into sports games.
No, I got into MLB The Show for a while.
That I love.
That was fun. Did you hear the one this year? Women now on Major League Baseball.
No,
teams.
I-
Yeah, that's the big controversy with them. But whatever.
Well, you play what you want. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever.
Make a softball mini game in there.
With Madonna.
Yeah. It's called a
But
callback.
the games have done really, really well, haven't they?
They have because the graphics
Yeah.
are so incredible now.
Yeah.
They're able to do so much, and they're their own medium now. With
What about
art.
virtual? Have you done that with these,
when
the goggles?
when the PlayStation came out with one, I got that, and it was cool. Like and you could watch movies in it too. So I would just like, and that was cool. And I got a couple of Super Hot. Did you ever play that?
What's that?
Super Hot was cool. It started on PC and it was on PlayStation 4 for the VR, and time only moves when you move.
Okay.
So it's like you look around and you figure you shoot these things and people shooting at you. And so you'll see a bullet traveling, and it's like you could do like the Matrix thing.
No way.
And so that was fun. It's sort of like, did you ever play Portal?
Yes.
So
Love Portal. Portal.
It's like Portal, where you have to get through each level.
Okay.
And like it's like a puzzle.
Okay.
It's like, okay, you have to pick up this gun here and move this way because you know that bullet's coming that way.
Oh, interesting.
And like you shoot certain people at certain time.
Wow.
It was very fun, and you have to be very calculated.
Were the graphics kind of angular, I want to
Yes.
say? Okay.
You're like,
now
it's
I know
white.
What
It's all white, and everything that you can pick up and that is shooting at you is red.
now I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
And that was VR.
I've seen it, like clips. I've never played it.
Yeah,
though.
that was fun. Yeah. We got to play Fortnite.
Those games to me are like playing tag,
Oh, yeah.
and I suck at tag. I get annihilated.
Yeah,
at
me
tag.
too.
But I am. It's oddly enough, though, I'm into this new Helldivers game,
Oh, yeah.
which is has a real Starship Troopers vibe. I love that.
That's cool.
It's so much fun
Yeah.
shooting the bugs.
Right, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you got to play that, man.
I know. It's not on Xbox yet. What are you playing it on?
Well,
PlayStation?
Yeah.
Okay,
Get a
yeah.
PlayStation, bro.
I know. I need a PS5. One of these
I'm
days.
surprised you didn't get one when you started out with a PS4.
PS4, yeah. I know. I
All
did.
your games could have come over with you.
Really?
Did you sell them or did you?
I still have.
trade
I still
them?
have my PS4.
Well, keep them.
I know.
You know,
They'll
PS5 is going
play
to go on
in the
sale.
PS5.
Huh?
The disc will
Yes.
play in the PS5.
Yes.
That's nice. Maybe I will,
Yeah.
because I still have. I remember I did a lot of research.
And they'll look better too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's cool. I did a lot of research when I first got my PlayStation 4 because it was my first console, and so I was like, well, and all my friends had the Xbox, and I remember when they announced the Xbox One, I watched all of E3 that year, and I just remember, and looking back on it, it makes sense. Bill Gates, Microsoft, the Kinect always on.
Yeah.
It always has to
Oh.
be plugged in, always watching. Remember that?
Yeah.
For the Xbox
Is
One.
that what scared you? Is that why you didn't get it?
That, and I liked the exclusives on the PlayStation more
Okay.
because the Xbox had the play with your friends. You know, you can do this and play that and all together on the internet all the time. And PlayStation 4 was like dive into the world
Well, they were
of
really pushing online back then. too.
Uncharted. Yeah. Dive into the world of Uncharted. And I did my backwards research too of what were the previous exclusives.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
the
yeah.
original.
And what would you like to play?
Right. Well, the original Uncharted. They remastered all three of those. I played all three of those. Unbelievable. You know,
Right?
so much fun. And that's what I had time to do because I wasn't playing at the same time my friends were online. So it was like, I don't want to play online.
How crazy is that? That Uncharted game was better than the movie.
You know, I like the movie. Again, talking about what people do with movies. I like the movie. I love Tom Holland.
Yeah.
I think he's a great actor.
Me too.
He's the perfect Peter Parker right now because he looks appropriate, like
Agreed.
the original Tobey Maguire and
Yeah.
the first Spider-Man.
I know what you're saying.
Not emo
Kind of
Spider-Man.
age appropriate.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, all the stunts he's doing. He's nimble.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. So I thought he did well as Nathan Drake. I just feel like the guys at Sony and who put the Uncharted movie together looked at the 4 games and said,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and totally changed the origin story.
Yeah.
And totally changed certain things. It's like, I get it. You want to, maybe you don't think you're going to get greenlit for a sequel. So you want to shove all this stuff together in one movie. But why are you doing that?
Well, number one, fan service, and number two, newcomers to the series.
Yes.
They want to get those people to come in and start playing their games too,
Right.
make it a loop.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
Same thing with Gran Turismo. You know,
That was a cool idea. I haven't seen that.
and that worked.
Was that a good movie?
It works.
Good.
Yeah,
I like that
I
idea.
really enjoyed it. I really liked it.
There was a cool YouTube TV show that was years and years ago. It was called Video Game High School.
What?
Did you ever see that?
I would love to go there.
Yeah, exactly. And it was about this
Do
kid.
your homework. Okay.
Yeah, right.
No problem.
Yeah. But the graphics in the show were great because they were playing video games, but then they actually like went into the game, so they were in the gear if they're playing FPSs or first-person shooters, or they're driving the cars, you know. So the filming was done very well, and the story was really great. And I feel like Gran Turismo did a good job
Yeah.
of that type of thing as well.
So smart.
It's cool.
Well, they're driving simulators or flight simulators. You know, there are so many.
Boeing
many
needs to work on the flight simulators.
Let me get some Dawn dish soap on there, and then I'm putting a little credit card and fit that in there. Okay, it's good to go. Take it away.
Yeah, they're-
Screws? You don't need the screws.
Yeah, we don't need no stinking screws. What do we need that for? Huh?
But
Yeah.
it's fun, man. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate it. Where can people find
What
you?
do we knock out today?
We're
How
at
many-
an hour 20.
Whoa.
I know.
Wow, that's
See,
a
when
good
you're having
podcast.
fun. Yeah, when you're having fun, your time flies by.
Those are my favorite podcasts.
Yeah, when
Things
you're not
that go
like-
over an hour. Right. Now, do you have it so people can listen to it as well, or what do you?
You know, Spotify's been acting weird.
That's what I heard.
When I first started this podcast, it was audio only
Mm-hmm.
during COVID. And so I did do a lot of playing music.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Spotify didn't like that, where I
Wow.
can't get back into it to upload new episodes.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I have to figure that out. So right now it's just on YouTube. But
They are quirky. I've heard that.
Yes.
It is difficult.
so I need to try to figure that out. But it was on Spotify for a while, and you can watch podcasts on Spotify now, which is cool. So that's nice. But otherwise,
I like listening to them. Mm-hmm. That's my thing.
yeah, because then you can drive and you're not too many crazy visuals. I do have the other visual though. Let's see. When we first met, 2019. It's a great picture. Wearing the Star Wars shirt. You know, good stuff. Time flies by, doesn't it?
I don't have
It is
any
crazy.
of those clothes anymore.
And then of course we have to talk about this story, the New Year's baby.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
Imbasciani with Lovejoy there. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
What year was that?
I don't know.
Look at the top. What does it say? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It just says Happy New Year.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. Probably says on your sash.
That was fun, though.
Yeah. Didn't you said somebody was trying to rip off your diaper?
Yeah. Lady wanted to change me. I said, I ain't going to change.
What was one of the hardest, before we wrap up, what was one of the hardest parts that you came up with for your show? Like, that you're doing right now?
Hardest?
Like, to come up with all the voices or...
No.
No? They just come pretty easy, huh? Or like the songs when you
Well-
write the different lyrics to these
Oh,
songs.
no, a lot of times those just come right in.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, you open yourself up to the universe.
Yeah.
It comes in. As long as you don't block yourself. I would say material-wise, that's some of the toughest stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the easy ones, I don't know why. Sometimes I'll walk up with a premise,
Yeah.
just a premise, and maybe a joke at the beginning, a joke at the end.
You mean walk
like a
up on
nice little
stage?
yeah.
Just do it.
And just
Okay.
wing it and see where it goes. I'll
cool.
talk to people.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will offer something. They'll
Right,
say,
so you like that
blah,
crowd
blah,
work.
blah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm improvising and I'm creating something at the same time.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a fun
My
way to
favorite
do it.
way to create.
Yeah.
You know, but the other part is a lot
And then
more
you're like, you got to
difficult.
remember it later.
Oh, that's the other thing,
Yeah.
right?
Or you can probably change it. I mean, if you have that
Always.
beginning and end, you can always just go
Always.
in with the middle not being known.
The hard part is changing it, I think, because you kind of get married to something. And it doesn't, the alternative doesn't come right away. For example, okay, I'll give you a great example. One of the jokes I have in my act is about being in an apartment and seeing these two guys doing something. Remember the
Oh
Starbucks
yeah,
joke?
yeah. Starbucks joke.
So
I remember. I know I've heard that joke before, but I forgot the ending punchline, and it just hit me again. And I was like, "Oh, that's hilarious!"
so that is a true story.
Wow,
And I go like,
I'm
I-
very sorry. Go see his show, folks, and you'll understand.
So I always wanted to be do a storyteller type of thing.
Yeah.
And I go, how do these guys do that?
Yeah.
Because they're long, right?
And God said, "Here you go." And you're like, "You work in mysterious ways."
he certainly does. So I watched that, and I just kept trying and telling the story.
Seeing
And each
how it
time
fit.
I would add a little bit and add a little bit until I figured out it doesn't have to be exactly the way it happened.
Yeah.
You do have some creative license.
Right. They weren't there.
You can exactly. you can have a little fun with it.
Yeah.
And I did, but for the most part, it was pretty much exact though.
Oh, even Yoga Girl, huh?
Yoga Girl too. Yeah.
Nice.
Yoga Girl.
See, the good
We've
with
had
the
several
bad.
places like yeah, well you take the good with the bad. But that's what Toronto's like. I mean, there's condos everywhere.
Yeah. So you just afford curtains.
But you have to. It's floor to ceiling windows.
Right.
So you've got to cover how much.
Yeah.
You know. Mm-hmm. It's
Crazy.
It's quite a chore. A lot of blankets.
A lot of blankets.
All right.
All right. Where can people find you?
Oh yeah, gregmorton.com if you want to go on my website.
Yeah.
And Instagram or X Greg Morton Comic. I never use that anymore anyway.
The app formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah. Greg Morton Comic. My Instagram's doing well.
Yeah. You're constantly posting
yeah.
stuff on there.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing right now. I'm not a huge fan of Facebook.
Me neither. We were talking about that before. It's like it's all spam. Like I post show is sold out, right? Or show is almost sold out. Get your tickets here, and just one after another. I have tickets for sale. DM me, and it's like no, you don't. No, you don't.
No.
It's all scams.
Really?
All scams.
That's terrible.
Horrible. I'll
Oh
delete
my
one,
gosh.
another one will pop up.
That's terrible.
It's like Mark Zuckerberg, get your act together.
I know, right?
It's like they want to talk about we're a safe place for everything and everybody except we watch everything you do, but we're safe except for all the scammers.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Tons of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really scam-a-lama ding-dong.
Yeah. Instagram's fun. I'm trying to do the shorts thing. Did you do the shorts?
I like you mean the reels?
Yeah, reels.
Yeah, I like the reels now.
Yeah, YouTube is shorts.
I'm still trying to figure out what's the sweet spot.
Time wise. Yeah.
People, I'm looking at the analytics. The average is 2 to 3 seconds. People watch a video. They're scrolling, right?
Right.
You got to grab them.
Not funny.
No.
Yeah.
But if you can't grab them in 2 to 3 seconds, that means I've got to be it's a car accident every time.
It has to be. It has to be that boom immediate. And are you seeing that in the clubs? Like, are you? Because some comedians, there's you see certain shows and just like they'll laugh and it dies like almost immediately.
Yep.
So you're seeing it
next,
right? Yeah.
Next.
Make me laugh, funny boy.
Well, I have so many shiny objects in my show anyway.
You do, and your show is a fast-paced show.
Yeah.
I will say that, and you mix it up with the songs or the
Exactly.
longer
So as soon as
audio
they start
bits.
to get bored of your voice, I move into something else completely different. It's like changing your palette or your song choice. It would be the same sort of thing.
Right.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna do something a little up tempo now.
Right. Oh, yeah. Or it makes me laugh when you play those 4 songs in a row that get people to dance. You play one slow song, and then the old lady comes up and you say, "Can you play something we can dance to?" Like I just did.
Oh, I used to hate that.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Did you ever get the threats? For not-
If you play something,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I had one incident that almost turned ugly, but luckily the bouncers all loved me, so they took care of me. I was very young at the time. I was probably 14.
Oh my gosh.
I was playing up in Ybor City in Tampa. Very big nightclub scene.
Who books that? Just kidding.
Yeah, right. Wouldn't get busy till 11 o'clock at night. I played 9:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m.
Okay.
13 to 16 years old.
Oh wow. Good for you, man.
It was fun. It was the safest bar. All the bouncers were great. And this guy was sitting at the bar going, "Play some Journey, play some Boston, More Than a Feeling, and
Gay.
or Don't Stop Believing." Yeah, right. And I'm like, I don't. Sorry, man, I don't know that. I don't do it. Well, I see the bouncers at the back of the bar start walking up closer and they're talking to each other through their earpieces. This guy sitting up front's getting more agitated. And I always, and I do it more so even now, but I always had like cases in front of me. Like build the wall. Walls work. And this guy gets up, starts to take the step over my speaker in front of me.
Oh my.
And both bouncers were right there, grabbed him, threw him out the door.
Wow.
Like that.
Wow.
And so, that was the closest I've ever seen to a bar fight.
What was he gonna do?
That's the question. Sing it himself,
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm a 14-year-old kid, and here's this,
That's
40
weird.
some odd, It's
That's
like, why?
weird.
It's just weird. Yeah. Always fun.
They think you're a jukebox or something.
Right.
That's what it is. And
Yeah.
it's just not. That's not how it works. It
Right.
doesn't go that way.
No.
It's not dueling guitars or anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Or one I play. I think I've told this story before. I was playing a New Year's Eve at one of those gated communities, and it was outside.
Prisons for old people. Hey,
Pretty much.
warden.
Yep. It was a beautiful place, and we were outside, up by the pool, and there was where we were sitting, where we were playing, the tiki hut with the TV, where everybody was watching the countdown.
That's too
was
funny.
all the way across the area there.
Oh no.
And there was this huge pool that would wrap around and a bunch of trees, and there are tables sporadically around there.
Yeah.
Well, you're starting to get these communities where people are moving in that are younger, that
Yes.
want the Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
They want, again, stuff I don't play, but
Yeah.
they want the 80s stuff I don't play.
Right.
Meanwhile, the old timers that, they're starting to offer up the vacancies for the young people to move in there. They want the Frank Sinatra,
Yes.
play some Dean Martin.
Yes.
I'm like, we're a 3-piece blues band. I'm sorry.
Right?
Where's the horn section?
Yeah.
And I remember I got the timing wrong too, because I had my regular analog watch at the time that you don't count seconds on those. And I see the TV way in the distance, and I'm trying to time it right to do the countdown
I know.
over
Yep.
the mic, right?
Yep.
Talking about New Year's Eve babies. And so I'm like, all right, I think it was like 10 and 9, and I hear a guy from the bar, not yet. I'm like, oh, all right, I'll just let them do it. And then what made it worse?
Shut up, Karen.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And of course, at the end of the night, like wrap up the big show, I play "Whipping Post" by the Allman Brothers. It's got the big,
Nice.
It's got the big finish, and it's got a big break at the end of that walk up, and then it's "Sometimes I Feel," and the band comes back in, big finish, and all that. So as we're playing the song, way out in the distance at one of the tables, I see this little old man get up. He's got his walker, and he's making his way up towards the stage.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I start playing the da-dun, walk-up part. He's getting closer, getting closer, getting closer. I hit the break. He's already mid-sentence to me, talking to me at the front of the stage, saying, I just want you to know the music was so loud and it ruined the night for us.
Oh.
And I'm like, and I'm supposed to sing the end of the song. we just ended it right there. Like,
That's
that's
cool.
it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It worked out.
Worked out. And but it was like, geez, like this 95-year-old guy took all the exertion energy he had left
Yeah.
to make his way all the way up to the stage
Yeah.
just to tell me that.
Yeah.
So that was fun. You take the good with the bad.
Well, happy stroke.
Well, that's. Did you notice Utica there stood up after?
Did she?
One of the jokes, and walked out of the room for a minute.
Did she?
Last night?
Which
yeah.
one?
One of the might have been the falling up the stairs one.
Oh, please.
I know.
Come on.
I know.
Come on.
It's so
Enough
funny.
already.
Exactly. You have to be able to.
Argue with me.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's got some experience. What?
What? Drooling in a cup?
What is that? I don't know what world they're living in.
I know, but
Are they really paying attention?
No.
Because what I'm seeing,
No.
he is dementia 13,
yes,
right? If that is a movie or not.
it
But
should be.
It should. Well, it is. We're living it.
Yes.
I mean, he does not. He forgets the leaders, world leaders, their names. He gets them crossed.
What
and
did he
mixed
say?
up.
He said one of the old German
Yep.
chancellors' names or something.
I think he even got the French president mixed
think
up and
so,
said
yeah.
one that was dead. Dead
That's
for-
right. That's what it was.
That's
yeah.
what it was. Dead
Yeah.
for 20,
He was
30
dead.
years.
Yeah. He saw his ghost.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
I know. It's insane. Anyway,
He's
Greg
not-
Morton
But
comedy.
he's not doing it anyway, folks.
No.
It's
no.
all
Oh, no.
puppetry.
Oh, yeah.
It's all marionettes.
What did Hillary say? At this
enjoy.
difference, what difference does it make? At this point, what difference does it make?
We'll get through it. We'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
fine.
Exactly. We come together.
Hey, You guys are doing better than Canada, believe me.
That's true.
How dare you?
Anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching. Greatly appreciate it, Greg. It's always a pleasure. Had a lot of fun. Greg Morton Comedy.
Great podcast. Really fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Greg Morton Comedy on Instagram. GregMorton.com, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, folks, thank you. Subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next video.